Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, internet land, whatever land you're on. Welcome to part 3 of my series of videos called Reshelving. 2017, hitting all the thrift stores and flea markets and garage sales and some private individual sales. I purchased about over 600 albums at such a fast rate that I did not have time to make videos as I was getting them. But now I got plenty of time and I've kind of slowed down on my buying. I didn't have time to properly make videos, so what I'm doing is pulling about 10 of the albums out at a time and making these series of videos so I can share them with you before I library these albums, put them where they should go. Excuse me. So I would keep these videos about 8 minutes because we're all busy and all that, and I don't want you to spend like a half an hour on video. Excuse me. So in this series, part 3, we're going to start out with I think a 1987 release by Elton John. What year is this? 1988. By Elton John. And this one is called Red Strikes Back. And this was about the time he was auctioning off a lot of his, 70s and 80s outrageous outfits for his AIDS charity. So a good cause there. And so they used the outfits for the cover. And this had the big hit, I Don't Want to Go Around With You Like That. Mona Lisa and Manassas, I think, was a minor hit. This was a word in Spanish too was a minor hit. This was an okay album, not a great Elton John 80s album, but not a bad one either. It wasn't like Leather Jackets. So very happy to have this in a collection, especially this was about the time when albums were being phased out in replace of CDs, and so they may have just printed so many of these. I've got it originally on CD, and it's still in shrink wrap, mint, beautiful condition. The album, yeah, nice and shiny. That's what I like. No surface scratches. Okay. This was a follow-up to a very successful album, Jerry Rafferty's Night Owl, and I think the other one was City to City, which contained the big hit Baker Street and right on down the line. This one wasn't nearly as successful, but it's still a good album, which I enjoyed. I think the song that got a bit of radio play is I can't remember, but it's a good album. It's still in shrink wrap, great like new condition. The classic 1970s Thin Lizzy and this Jailbreak. This one put them on the radio with the 2 hits, Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back. But the entire album's really good. All the deep tracks. This album here, this is a classic. Oh, I gotta be more careful. That's alright. This is an old copy anyway. This album I played many times, especially late at night. A great rock and roll party album, and their classic, Exile Main Street. Now, this is not like in new condition, but it was a lot better than my old one that's been played a zillion times. It doesn't have the postcard. It has the gatefold and the inner sleeves. And while not in pristine condition, it's in pretty good condition. So happy to have this. Or a better condition copy. Randy Newman, Trouble in Paradise. Very much California, LA, themes going on here. And I like the cover. He looks happy. I've owned this on album. I've owned this on CD. I think cassette. And this has a stamping here for military sale only, so it must have been sold on a military installation, the PX or something. And what makes this album a bit different is it was originally released on the Apple label, but presto, this is on Columbia Records. In the early 80s, Paul McCartney left Capitol Records for a time and signed with Columbia, where he released McCartney 2, Tug of War, Pipes of Peace, and he took his, I guess, his catalog with him, and Columbia issued his back catalog, so that's why it's on Columbia. So that's kind of unusual. It has the barcode here, so very time period for that time. We're going to wrap this up. I want to keep these under 10 minutes. Manassas, their second album. They said this is not quite as good, but I still have to listen to it. I got the first one, by the way. Someone, sadly, we lost about over a year back, and this is his big album, Faith, George Michael. Very good. And lastly, I had this as a teenager, and somehow it got lost or I gave it away. This is Jerry Lee Lewis, the London Sessions, recorded in London with great guest artists, and it's a gatefold, a very unusual gatefold, like here, the pockets here that can open, which holds the album. Pretty cool. And you had like a who's who of British rock. I'll just read some of the more known names who played on it. Peter Frampton, R-O-R-Y Gallagher. I have a tendency to mispronounce people's names. Kenny Jones, who later drummed for the Who. Mickey Jones. Albert Lee. Yes, I'm sure you all know who Albert Lee is. Klaus Foreman, the bass player and very Beatle-connected person. And Gary Wright. You have him covering songs like Wine Spodioti, Music to the Man, Baby What You Trying to Do to Me, Bad Moon Rising, Sea Cruise, Jukebox, and Memphis, Trouble in Mind, Johnny B. Good, High School Confidential, Good Golly Miss Molly, some Trudy Fruity, a lot of Little Richard covers, whole lot of shaking going on, his own hit. And this is a very cool, good rock and roll album. So happy to have this back in my collection. It's in really good condition. So that is part 3 of this series. Thank you very much for watching. And please leave your comments. Have a good day. Bye.